one, man, thank you for being so forthcoming. I appreciate you answering the questions as best you could. I know you are going to be doing the interview with Altcoin Daily, so I'm pretty sure there's going to be some repetition. Hopefully they're going to ask something different, and I'm asking some different questions as well. And we're hitting on this in a way that everybody can get a better understanding of what's happening with the situation. But to wrap things up, to move forward in time, let's go to the present and let's kind of look forward to the future. You talk about this power alliance. I mentioned J Chains. To also come back full circle, J Chains is now back working with you, working with AJ as well. You guys have formed this power alliance.
Yeah.
And I put that in parentheses. It's the power alliance. And you talking about a show together, the NWF, the New World Finance. You're talking about a show called, I think, Crypto Crossfire. Did I get that right? Okay, so what's going on with the present and future of Ben Armstrong, this alliance, and everything else moving forward?
So we're excited about Crypto Crossfire. This is going to be a cool show. We're live. It's going to be Monday through Thursday, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, as always. And Crypto Crossfire is going to be a show hosted by me, J Chains, and AJ. Each one of us are going to take a day off Monday through Thursday. So each of us will be on the show 3 days a week. And it's similar to a previous show that I created, except for better. So on this show, we're going to be covering one topic per day. That's it. There will be kind of one question to start the show off. And there's going to be a guest. And let's say it's you, Rice. You're going to be backstage. People are still going to be able to see you on camera, but you're going to be backstage. And you're going to listen to the arguments of me versus AJ, or AJ versus J Chains, for instance, or whoever one of our guest hosts may be. You're going to listen to the arguments. Then you're going to come on after you hear the arguments, and you're going to state like what you thought of the arguments. Each one of us is then going to get the opportunity to ask you one question that we think will help our argument, kind of like in a courtroom almost. You ask questions that try to help you, and then you're going to answer those questions. And then after that, you're going to give your overall take on the topic. AJ and I will get one last chance to present our arguments, and then you are going to get to pick the winner and which side of the argument is right. So I think it's a really cool concept for a show. We're really excited about it. We think it's going to do really well. It's going to be a different twist on things, obviously, and really looking forward to getting that show going. And so, yeah, the future of – go ahead.
Will that be on Ben Armstrong Crypto, the YouTube channel, or is that going to be on the new – could you talk about creating a new channel with the NWF, right?
Right. The New World Finance channel is going to be a collection of clips from all of our shows, different forms of content, short form, long form, videos, the whole 9 yards. And that's going to be a place where anyone that eventually joins the NWF will be able to have their clips placed. And so it's just a way for us. I saw that Hit Network is done wrong. Hit Network, of course, I called for Frank to get his channel back. And then, of course, 4 days later, he gets his, there's some deal made. I don't know any of the details. There's some deal made to give him 100% of his channel after I called for it, because, Hit Network was supposed to be a place for creators that didn't use the same predatory structure that other record labels or other media networks use. And yet it turned right into that, where they were taking money from the creators that were making the money, and the network was benefiting. And that's never what I wanted. I always wanted a network that's more, the word alliance is a better word. J Chains and AJ, they don't work for me. They're not my employees. I do have some employees that are going to work here for me, but not content creators. Content creators are meant to thrive off collaboration. You don't have to force people into contracts to try to make money off of great influencers and great educators and great entertainers. They can make it on their own. Of course, I'm, formerly one of the largest YouTubers in the space. I'm sure I will be again one day. But the fact is I understand what my name brings, and I understand that the kind of people that want to work with me, and I want to pass that off to, I don't want to call them the next generation, because J Chain's been there with me the whole time, but the other members of Power Alliance. So we can all be getting deals and making money together and working together and collaborating, making content that there's no feelings of resentment, because everybody's making their own money and everybody's getting to pay for their own office, they're renting and things like that. And I'm willing to help these people. I'm willing to help people that join in the beginning to kind of help them get the training wheels off, so they can be having a sustainable income on their own. I mean, guys, AJ was making like $800 a week at Hit Network. That's what he was making. I think he was making like $800 a week for all of the content that he provided over there. By far the best content creator they had in the stable. Along with Frank. Frank hasn't been on the channel though. And
what they did with Frank though. What they did with Frank, I think, looking at the deal, from what I can tell, it seems cool. And maybe it's just trying
Right.
to,
But that
maybe it's just
was
trying
after
to
I
show
called for
good
it
faith.
publicly.
And I
That was
get that.
after
I
I
get
called for it
that.
publicly for 4 days. Why was
Right.
that not done before? Why was it only done after I called for him to get 100%
It does
ownership
look
of that
like you're
channel?
showing face by doing it after you mentioned it several times.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah, of course. So like let's not give them credit for a good faith deal that was done based on pressure. And Frank doesn't want
But
anything to
on
do with it.
Frankie's end, I think that ultimately he's within a certain amount of time, he's just going to be able to leave completely and have complete ownership of everything, which is
I
good.
don't know anything about the deal. I know nothing about that deal. I would assume there are some contingencies based on how our situation shakes out between us. There could be some contingency based upon, maybe paying a certain amount to get released. I don't know about that. I'm just saying if I were looking at what made this deal happen in terms of what Frank has said, which was, I can't get it back now, but over time, I'm going to get the keys. And so it's one of these things where I don't know what was worked out, but why does he not just get it now? Why does there have to be a process? It doesn't make any sense.
One
It's
last
his
thing
channel.
before we
He's the
do.
one creating all the content.
Yeah, 100%. One last thing before we do like final thoughts. If you do win, everything turns out successful and you get the channel back. You've mentioned several times, hashtag Bitboy crypto is dead.
Mhm.
Is Bitboy crypto dead? Are you going to revamp? Will there be a zombie known as Bitboy crypto coming back? Or are you going to still remain Ben Armstrong crypto?
Well, there was a time near the beginning of this where I believed that I would get everything back quickly. And we were basically, there was a motion in court that was denied. No reason for the denial, which didn't make any sense why it was denied. And of course, that hearing was passed off as the end of this. This is just the beginning, guys. That was literally the
That was
kickoff.
the emergency injunction that
Yeah,
you supposedly lost, and they said that Cassie and your wife were sitting together in support of you.
right. Of course. And of course, the employees at Network were told that they had to sit on the other side. They were not allowed to sit on my side. And then in court, of course, the lawyer turned around and said, all these people are willing to testify against him, when all the people over there were not willing to testify. This is how even the employees at Network were used as pawns. And I know this from people that were there that said that they were not under the impression that they were going to be used by that. So yeah, that was basically the emergency hearing. And I was told in the very beginning that, I should have gotten everything back quickly, but I haven't. And now people can look at the trajectory of that channel, and you look at the engagement, and then you look at the engagement of my new channel. And my new channel, the analytics are some of the craziest analytics that crypto YouTube has ever seen, because I came in during the bear market and have only active engaged followers, as opposed to the follower bloat from the other channel. And of course, I think there's been 40 to 50,000 subscribers lost on that channel so far. And then when you do the math and you say, well, I've got almost 60,000 subscribers, and all this 60,000 is active. And then you look at their subscribers and say they've lost about 50,000, and they've lost 50,000 actively engaged subscribers. That's why they would unsubscribe, right? Because they were active and they've been watching what happened. And you start to see that there's not really active engaged subscribers that are left mathematically over there. So I think going forward, what I can tell you, I can't tell you what my plans are for that for that channel. It's not if it's given back, when it is given back. There's no way that I lose this, guys. I want everybody to look at me. There's 0% chance that I lose and I don't get everything back. There's zero legal basis for what has been done. Any attorney, except for their attorney, will tell you that. Like, people that are watching, if you're an attorney and you have a 67% owner that's overthrown by a 33% owner after he admits that the only reason he overthrew you was because you fired him. Oh yeah, by the way, and you still own 67% of the company. There's no lawyer in the world that will look and say, that's a case I want to take. There's not one, except for the one that they hired. And I believe that they've lied to a lot. So what I can tell you is, now at this point, with the self-inflicted destruction of that channel by the people running it, I can tell you very confidently that I will never be known as Bitboy again. I will always be known as Ben Armstrong. And when the channel is given back, I do have a plan for that channel. But it is not a place where I will put regular crypto content. And it's, guys, there's this idea that I desperately cling on to things, like, oh, he's going to desperately cling on to his designer wear, or oh man, the Lamborghini. Guys, I don't give a flip about the Lamborghini. I give a flip about what was done to me over the Lamborghini. That's what the upsetting part is. That my hand was forced by a bully who said he was going to kill me if I didn't give him $3 million. That $3.2 million, by the way, is a very, very, very important number. I've discovered what it means. And I don't,
Well, I've heard it. I've heard it numerous times, and I've heard that figure being thrown around with the Celsius loss as well, which
there was
TJ's
about a
dad would
$3
have been
million
in charge
Celsius
of.
loss, I believe. Yeah, and I'm not 100% sure about the connection between that loss and Celsius, but I do know why that number is important.
There was
it has nothing to do with me.
There was one thing I did forget to ask real quick, and that was, have you sold any Bitcoin? Because I was told that you sold 5% of the supply, totaling up to about $700,000 in 12 hours. Is that true or false?
That's false. That's false.
All right, man. Well, again, I really appreciate you taking the time to answer all these questions. I appreciate you coming on for the interview. I look forward to checking out the interview that you're going to be doing with Altcoin Daily, and I definitely encourage people to check that out so they can get a better understanding of the entirety of the situation. And if you haven't seen the interview with TJ, I definitely encourage everybody to watch that as well, so you can look at every single angle of the story. You have any final thoughts, anything you want to add, Ben, before we wrap up this conversation today?
Yeah, I just say the future is bright for Ben Armstrong Crypto. The future is bright for the New World Finance Alliance. I'm super excited about where we're going. The future is bright all the way around. We've got some killer ideas for shows. And, we're getting back to brass tacks. Everybody knows I was absent for a lot of the last year on the channel. There were people that were, I guess, allowed to think that they were more important than they should have been. When in reality, the numbers always dropped when I wasn't there. And for a good reason, because it was my show and I created it. And I was the founder. And I'm the reason why people watch the show. This is probably the worst nightmare of the people at Hit Network, which is that through trying to destroy me and publicly humiliate me, I've realized that I didn't have a formula for success. There was no formula that we could take and we could apply to other channels and say, hey, let's get Ben's recipe and let's have someone else come in and do this and we can build a big channel. And I overestimated my own interpretation of why I was popular. The reason why my channel has done so well, and the reason why I'm popular, outside of me just helping people make money, is that people like me. People like me, or they love to hate me. But either way, people have opinions on me. And when people saw, when I moved from that channel to my new channel, and everyone came with me that was active, people saw that the true value of Bitboy Crypto was always Bitboy. It was always me. And there's a part of that that might sound a little egotistical for people. But that's not true at all, actually. It was, guys, I never knew my own value. I didn't understand that I was the draw. I thought I had a formula. But through this and the support of the community, what I've realized is people really love me. And they have my back. And they've had my back through this entire thing. And that's why people are clamoring and they're looking to hear what really happened, because it's so mysterious. And I will tell you, there is a mystery. And I know what happened. And when people understand what really occurred, people are going to be on my side more than ever. And I don't have to defend myself. And I will never have to defend myself again going forward when people see what's been done to me. And so really excited about the new channel, about the new direction and moving forward. And, I hope that, your audience, they come and they watch and they see and they take part. And Rice, you're going to definitely get an invite to come on the new show, on the Crypto Crossfire show, and look forward to getting things back. But we're never moving back to the high production value, so gigantic studio, millions of dollars of equipment. I don't need any of that. You know all I need?
That was insane. It was insane, dude. Just working at my house, doing this in my room and going to the studio, that was just way too much.
Yeah.
It really was. I was proud of what you guys had accomplished, but it really was way too much.
Well, if I look back, if I would have always just stuck to doing what I did and sat in front of a computer, then I would be about 10 times richer than I am right now. So I thought by bringing in all these high level people that know everything, that like what I'll be able to do is have this high production value, and I'll run my show like I'm ESPN or CNN or Fox News. But what you see is, like you see with Tucker's show, like stuff isn't that important. It's the people that are important. And while they can replace the cameras, they can replace the shows, they'll never be able to replace me. And I think that's the message that I think the community has sent. And I appreciate everybody from the bottom of my heart. I thank you, Rice, for letting me come on and talk. And, I wish there were things I could tell more and I could say more about, and there will be a time for that. And I look forward to being able to share the entirety of the story.
Yeah. And obviously you got an open invitation, man, if you want to come back on when that time comes. Again, I mean, when it comes down to it, someone's not telling the truth, and it's just a matter of which side that is. And until there's more information, I'm really confused, man. I do appreciate you being forthcoming. And when I say I'm confused, I'm not saying that I just don't
I
know.
understand what you mean.
I don't
I know
know.
what you mean.
There's
It's
just,
it's it's unbelievable.
unless you're
Yeah.
involved, unless you're really, really involved.
Mhm.
And I've done a really good job at like trying to figure this thing out. And I figured a lot of things out, but there's just something that's not connecting. And that's the thing that's kind of bothering me.
Yeah,
But
there will be
time
a
will
time where
tell.
that connection is made, and there will be people that make that connection that are not you, me, or the people in the building. There will be people outside the building that make that connection.
Right. All right, man. Well, just bear with me real quick. I'm going to do the wrap up. Again, ladies and gentlemen, I do appreciate you tuning in. If you're not subscribed to Ben Armstrong's new YouTube channel, Ben Armstrong Crypto, I don't know why I couldn't talk there. Ben Armstrong Crypto. It's going to be linked down below in the video description, as well as his Twitter/X account. And I appreciate you guys tuning in. If you're not subscribed here at Rice Crypto, I definitely encourage you to do so. And before we wrap things up, I want to leave you with this. I encourage you, as always, to be a blessing to others. Treat people how you want to be treated. Be the glitch that you want to see in this matrix. Be the change that you want to see in the world. And until next time, practice change.